There has been a substantial amount of attention surrounding the newly claimed find beneath the Great Pyramid of Khafre within Giza. With no substantial reports regarding what could be under the other two pyramids yet to surface, opinions regarding the find have so far been divided. Although the claims on the surface may seem outlandish and to many unrealistic, the dismissal that the find is experiencing within not only the public sector but also the academic world is, to us, a very familiar one indeed. Once you learn about the factors that made us particularly interested in the find, characteristics we felt, if our suspicions were accurate, would indeed be found, you may look upon this possible new discovery in an entirely different and perhaps more profound light. We have long posited that the Great Pyramids of Giza are not simply placed at random, built upon the ever-shifting sands of Egypt, but were in fact meticulously and masterfully planned and executed. What's more, for an ancient civilization sophisticated enough to have created such gigantic and complex structures to such precise specifications, structures they intended to stand for eons, would you not perhaps consider that they would build a foundation, a gigantic stone plateau that in many areas has evidence of having once been completely artificially constructed, with staircases seemingly carved into and through the plateau at specific locations? The reasons for this remain unclear. Would you not create a perfectly level stone foundation if you had the ability to work with such enormous stones? A place to sit several structures, each weighing in the realm of 1,000,000 tons, perfectly constructed, and planned to sit level for thousands of years. This, however, raises more questions. One in particular: why did these structures seemingly need such perfect alignment? What were they aligned with? Was it ancient constellations, or perhaps an alignment going far into the earth below, or maybe both? Maybe these structures were indeed built from the top down, not literally, but with an eye to their function. It is only over the last few decades that we have begun to understand just what sort of an enormous undertaking the Great Pyramids were. Perhaps we are only seeing a fraction of their true size, for it is only with scanning equipment and centuries of deterioration that we have started to see just what sort of massive stones are within its exoskeleton. As if these feats were deliberately hidden, buried and concealed by their original builders, just like their true function, and indeed their true size. With an anomaly reportedly drilled some 2 kilometers into the earth below, one has to wonder what these things could be. Could they be generating some form of energy field, or even manipulating factors of reality itself? Interestingly, an international research group investigated the electromagnetic response of the Great Pyramid to radio waves. Scientists predict that under resonance conditions, the Pyramid of Khufu can concentrate electromagnetic energy inside its internal chambers and, perhaps more interestingly, from under its base. The research group plans to use these results to design nanoparticles capable of reproducing similar effects in the optical range. The study was published in the Journal of Applied Physics. The research implies that the pyramids themselves may be focusing specific forms of light, and just like a legend out of Lord of the Rings, may one day be found to be beacons, their secrets hidden within the symbology of the occult and mainstream society for years. Their specific coordinates established on maps far later were likely not a coincidence. As if the eye of providence, the light within one's head, projected forth, defined and created by the observer, a reality far from real, built on concepts such as infinity rather than solid truths, yet one we find ourselves in today. Yet I digress. What is this thing hidden beneath the Great Pyramids? Are there more? Why are these structures found on nearly every continent? Why were they hidden for millennia? Do the powers that be know what the Great Pyramids truly are? Is it merely a matter of time before this truth is established beyond doubt? Was this news merely released now to set us on the right track, knowing this realization is inevitable? We will keep you posted on further developments surrounding this newly claimed discovery. We find the possibilities highly compelling. Since the rediscovery of what is unquestionably the most puzzling, astounding and enigmatic site on Earth, the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx of Giza, we have been led to believe that an astonishingly accurate yet somewhat vandalistic later addition was once put there by a caliph named Al-Ma'mun, now popularly known by its coined title, Al-Ma'mun's Forced Entrance. This title, although argued as his work, has a compelling tale attached to its possible original purpose, When one actually looks into what an incredible achievement this tunnel once was, it becomes apparent that it was cleverly bored by an ancient people far more advanced than a 9th century caliph. Additionally, possible hypotheses have been put forth as to its origins by individuals who may have known of entrances into the pyramid, entrances that we in the modern world have either lost knowledge of or have been prevented from knowing about. Hinged doorways made of stone, perfectly counterbalanced to allow an average-sized man to open and close them, were placed along the structure's north face. When closed, these doorways became indistinguishable from their surroundings. Are there still secret entrances along the pyramid's northern side? The Great Pyramid, a little way up on one side, has a stone that may be taken out, which, being raised up, there is a sloping passage to the foundations. Strabo, pyramids and temples of Giza, Flinders Petrie. Yet regardless of these additional highly compelling investigative leads put forward, the remarkable accuracy of the tunnel remains a tough thing for supporters of academia's tale of events to explain. As author Ralph Ellis puts it, the main problem with the classical explanation was that Al-Mamun's tunnel is rather too accurate for comfort. It tracks into the pyramid in a direct line for the all-important junction between the descending and ascending passageways. It is often cited that Al-Mamun had to turn the tunnel sharp left to discover the original passageways, a fact that Ralph had in the back of his mind when he first visited the Great Pyramid. But he ambled down the forced tunnel rather mystified, because the left turn cited in the literature could not be found. Having backtracked the tunnel to try again, that left turn seemed to be no more than a slight widening of the tunnel. In fact, the digging was almost right on target, for how does one know where they are when deep within the passages of such an incredibly huge ancient structure? If instead it is argued that the tunnel was started from the outside, the same question arises. How did they determine the precise angle? Although it is now the most used entrance and has been drawn on countless plans, drawing an existing tunnel's exact line of descent is far easier than creating such a precise angle in the first place. Within the Great Pyramid lies the remaining half of what has long been used to fuel speculation about this tunnel's original purpose, the sarcophagus of Khufu. This anomalous artifact, which we have covered in the past, raises more questions than answers. No one can explain how this giant stone object ended up inside the pyramid. It would not have fit through the existing entrance tunnels. However, at some point in the pyramid's long history, someone smashed into this stone box, stealing its contents along with the sarcophagus lid, an object that also could not have fit through the tight turns of the existing tunnels. Yet, strangely, it would have fit through the forced tunnel. This leads to an unsettling possibility. Was the damage to the sarcophagus inflicted by the same group that built the forced tunnel? Was the tunnel's true purpose to extract the so-called sarcophagus lid? If it was indeed created by a caliph in the 9th century, how did he manage to tunnel so accurately, hitting the exact target with precision? And the biggest mystery of all, where is this missing lid now? Could this tunnel, much like the many different layers of casing stones that indicate construction by a lost civilization, have been built by an ancient, unknown people who flourished long before the Egyptians? The evidence for such a possibility is deeply compelling. Across the Giza plateau, there remains a baffling array of unexplained anomalies: melted steps, melted stone, melted sand, and megaliths of nearly impossible proportions. Yet, one of the most intriguing relics of all is something far more mysterious: evidence suggesting an extraterrestrial origin. What secrets still lie hidden beneath these massive structures? Time and time again, we have seen media blackouts surrounding new chamber discoveries, only to later hear that the tombs were looted long ago and found empty. The real question is, what are the Egyptian antiquities hiding? Could there be more artifacts with extraterrestrial connections still waiting to be unearthed? Take, for instance, King Tutankhamun's dagger, which was forged from metal of alien origin. Some speculate that this may just be one piece of a larger set. Rumors persist regarding an even greater discovery: an entire throne attributed to Pharaoh Khufu himself, hidden deep within the Great Pyramid. Professor Julio Magli of the Balan Polytechnic Institute suggests that the throne of Khufu is concealed within a secret chamber inside the pyramid itself. He states, "There is a possible interpretation which aligns well with what we know about the Egyptian funerary religion as witnessed in the pyramid texts. These texts say that before reaching the stars of the north, the pharaoh must first pass through the gates of the sky and sit upon his throne of iron. Now, thanks to scan pyramids and penetrative technology, a new mystery chamber is in the crosshairs. Researchers are currently developing an inflatable robot designed to explore the hidden space. This robot can be pushed through a tiny 1.5-inch keyhole, where it will then inflate into a blimp-like drone to navigate the chamber. Lead researcher Dr. Jean-Baptiste Mouret told Digital Trends the main challenge is to insert a complete exploration robot through a hole that is as small as possible. But the biggest question remains, where did all this meteoric material come from? Was there a catastrophic event in the distant past, one responsible for both these alien materials and the melted artifacts scattered across Giza? Though still speculation, the possible existence of Khufu's throne of iron is highly compelling. If it does exist, and if it truly holds an otherworldly connection, then this discovery could change everything we thought we knew about our past. We will keep you posted as new revelations emerge.